As I'm uploading, or well, saving the movie or the video, as I'm saving the video for I am proof that the LDS Mormon Church is false, I just got, shall we call it revelation, of another video that I'm curious to see how it will go over in regards to getting Mormons' attention. I noticed that my video about, I can't remember the title, had to do with translation, before I came out with a single page translation video, which isn't doing as well as that one. And it's dying. People are giving up on it. And so I thought, what about if I were to lie? Come out with a story which is total fabrication. But because of my experience and influence within the church, I could pull it off, that people would believe. Now, of course, it's not going to work if people check my other videos, especially this one. But I could lie in a video. Now, I have not been lying at all this whole time. The facts and the evidence are against the church. The church is false, period. But I could create a narrative that Mormons would believe. And if they do see some of these other videos, I could cover for it. Oh, come on. So the question I have is, for those of you who do see this video, should I actually try it? Because I got to get Mormons' attention. And I could create a narrative where instead of finding the brass plates in Missouri, as I've done with other titles, which the real truth is that I've found that the Bible comes from the ancient Egyptian records. But Mormons don't trust me because I'm not President Nelson. They only listen to President Nelson. So I need to come up with a way to get through to them, to break down that wall. And I think I got an idea of how to do it, but it would require that I lie. And so I'm wondering, should I do it? I'm not a very good liar, technically. But for this, I can do it. Because this is a rescue operation. Mormons need to be saved from the Mormon Church. And I think I can do it. But it would mean lying. But it would be the biggest prank. The question is, when they find out that I'm lying, it'll make me popular. That's the goal. So that people will know about what's going on and think that the church had orchestrated. I'm not going to tell you the details of it in this video, but I want to know if I should actually go and do it, because it's already been done by others. Mark Hoffman, for example, he forged documents, forged the salamander letter, just created the salamander letter, and fooled the church leaders. They gave him a Deseret coin as payment for this document that he claims to have found in a book. You know, their first clue was that he wanted compensation for it. You know, that should have tipped them off that something was wrong. But I can understand that they wanted to keep it a secret as well. And so they were doing a silence payment, a hush payment. And then you have Christopher, because Messiah ben Joseph is my memory clue to remember that it's Christopher is the guy's name. And he manufactured the sealed portions of the translation. And that got Ida Smith fooled. And now she's been excommunicated from the church. A direct descendant of Hiram Smith, excommunicated from the Mormon church. No, I don't need to rush to that. And so I'm wondering, should I do it? Now, if this video gets a lot of attention, this may also cause a problem. And so maybe I should just do it here. But it's a little too late now, I guess, because Mormons have already been tipped off and whatever. So I'm wondering, I need mass attention. And as much as my identity's been stolen and that getting mass attention will produce a penis pic, a photoshopped penis pic, which I hope will be complimentary rather than degrading. I still need to figure out a way to rescue the Mormons from the Mormon church. And the Book of Mormon does give examples where deception was used to free people who were enslaved. For example, when the people of Alma were enslaved by the priests of Noah, then was that the alcohol one, or was it the Lamanites? No, it was that one too. I think there were two types of alcohol-related escapes. But they got the guards drunk in a couple of stories and were able to free the people who were held captive by the guards. And so that was kind of a deceptive thing. There are bad guys who are being deceptive in order to accomplish their goals. But yeah, I wonder. Because it would work. Because I'll give you the framework. Because of working with the church in 2000 to 2004, I can call it a cover story that I was working on the footnotes, because that part was true. I was working on the footnotes, but I can use it as a cover story, which is not true. That the real reason why I was working with the church was with the brass plates being found under Temple Square when they dug up Temple Square to put in the parking garage. Because that would work. Because I joined soon after they finished. And so, yeah, I'll just tell you the story. And so, here's the narrative. Hinckley, is wanting to build the conference center, and then he wants to have a parking garage under Temple Square. And so they dig up under Temple Square. And in the course of digging up under Temple Square, they come across the brass plates. And I then am made aware of to the church, because I had been in contact with F. Michael Watson, which is true. And all that I've been telling you guys on my videos would therefore be explained away, as I needed to present a narrative so that nobody knew about the brass plates translation until after I finished. And so that's the cover story. That I wasn't really removed from society and put in the Salt Lake or the Utah State Hospital and arrested. No, that's all a cover story. I was actually working on the translation all this time. And so, yeah, when I contact F. Michael Watson, it was actually the church coming to me through F. Michael Watson, contacting me. And they learned that I had deciphered Paleo-Hebrew and was making connections with Egyptian. And thus they needed my help with the plates, because they knew of my talent in translation. And so I got called as a church service missionary as a cover while I worked on the translation of the plates. And it's taken all this time, and I'm still nearing the end. And what I'm finding is that I'm now at the writings of Jeremiah, and I've found extra chapters that are not included in either the Septuagint or in the Tanakh. I'm finding extra chapters written by Jeremiah himself. And in those chapters, I find out about some prophecies of the latter days. And I'm concerned. And so that's why I'm going to be coming onto YouTube to confess that all that I've been talking about has been a cover story. It was an attempt to get people's attention so that when the church finally comes out with it, everybody will go, oh, and will reveal who had faith and who didn't. And so, even though I'm saving the video where it's titled, I am proof that the church is not true, this video that I would do would be confessing that it's all just a cover story, that I've been trying to get Mormons' attention because it's almost finished, and that the church will then be publishing it, coming out with it. And that's what Nelson was referring to in his tweet. You know, look forward to something big in 2019 or 2020. That this was going to be it. And that the changes in the temple text were a result of what I had discovered with the translation. And that more was going to happen as a result of my translation work. And so yeah, I'm going to come out on YouTube exposing all of it, that it's all just a cover story, that I still believe in the church, but I'm troubled by Jeremiah's extra chapters. And that these chapters tell me of some prophecies of the last days, specifically naming Trump would be president, that other things would be going on that have happened, and that it also says that the church would be corrupt. That Brigham Young actually did what he did, and what I was saying, what I thought was once a cover story, is actually true. And so, yeah, that would be an awesome video. Because I would be talking all serious, not laughing as I am over this. I'd be like, okay guys, this is the way it was. In August 2000, F. Michael Watson approached me and said, we need your help with translation. We found what we believe is the brass plates buried under Temple Square in Salt Lake City. When we dug it up to build a parking garage, we found the records, and none of the BYU professors are able to translate it and decipher it. And the church came to me because they had learned that I had deciphered Paleo-Hebrew and was working on deciphering the glyphs in Egyptian. And so they came to me, and for the last 19 years now, 18 and a half years, I have been working on this translation, and I am now in the final pages. There are extra chapters in Jeremiah in this record. It would be awesome. And so that would be my cover story, that all this was going on. And this would make a great book, by the way. Anybody out there want to make a book deal? Because this would be totally awesome. Because, you know, I'm single all this time. My wife just left me as I make the discovery. And it's got the mysterious of ancient cultures and missing scripture. And it involves trying to keep it all a secret when everybody is believing that I'm not doing any of this. I have to keep it a secret from everybody. I can't even tell my parents. I have to use the cover that I'm working in the curriculum department, working on the footnote translations. It would be an awesome book, an awesome fiction. That may actually be a good idea. I've had people recommend turning this into a fiction story as a means of getting the information out in the first place, similar to what Dan Brown did with the Da Vinci Code. And oh man, I got extra sleep because I stayed up late watching SNL last night. And now I'm still 3 hours away from when I could go to bed, but yeah. But what do you guys think? See, obviously this wouldn't be for Mormons. So unfortunately Mormons are going to find out about this. It's just inevitable. But this would be awesome. This could turn into a movie, man. And so, yeah, all my arrest, all staged. That's why there is no record of it. It's not because it was sealed. It's because it was all staged. That I wasn't going to the Salt Lake County Jail. I was actually working on the translation. Or, well, no, no, they couldn't, because then the guards would know all. They'd have to be in on it. And so, yeah, the whole thing would have been made up. And so, being in Supermax was perfect, because that's seclusion. Very few people know about who's in there. You have the guards that go on shift training, or shifts in that area. They shift around all over the place in the jail. But yeah, that would be interesting. Make an awesome book. It would take some time, but it would all be text. I wouldn't need to put in the pictures per se. I'll have to think about this. Maybe I shouldn't do it as a video. Maybe I should publish it as a book of fiction. That would be interesting. Because what Christopher did was he said he was given the plates and made a translation of them, and then in his translation he revealed that the Mormon, I guess, is the author, or is it Moroni? I'll have to go back and check, but he talks about prophesying that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints would become corrupted and need to be restored. And so, similar to Mark Hoffman, who in the Salamander letter said that Joseph Smith got a revelation that his son was to be the successor. And so, because yeah, Mormons are big on sealed portion, and I don't want to do sealed portion. I was hoping brass plates would be big for Mormons, but it's not as big as I wanted it to be. It sort of died out now. So yeah, I mean, we need an immediate rescue of the Mormons. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas, please comment. And don't be abusive in your comments. Mormon church is false. Screw the Mormons. Let them die. No, that's unacceptable. That's not an answer. That's not a solution. So, yeah. Because I can give details. I can describe the underground parking lot. I can talk about the church office building. I can talk about the church administration building. I know where the president has his office. I know where the president has his apartment across the street. So I know details like an author would need to know, even though he's writing a book of fiction. So yeah, it would be very interesting. But at the same time, because by doing it, it would have to be something that I'm trying to do in secret. I'm not letting the church know about it. So having a YouTube channel where I'm trashing the church may not be as effective, because the church would therefore be monitoring me under this scenario, and my website as well. So yeah, it would have to be published in a book. Interesting. Or maybe if I don't know. Depends on what triggers Mormons to believe, when in all actuality, if they thought about it, they wouldn't believe. Because that's the trick. Is with me, I can fool people into coming, but they don't stay long. So what would I do? So yeah, if you have any ideas, I don't want to go on too much longer here, but yeah, let me know what you think. even though there's just a few of you who will actually want to go through and comment. So, all right. Let's exit first before I start doing other things. You watch me do other things. I just thought of another idea for the video or the movie book deal or whatever. Is that the reason why I actually was removed from society for terroristic threats and locked away in the hospital was because I found out the extra chapters in Jeremiah back in 2008. And the church was trying to cover it up to not release the brass plates at all, because I had found out that the missing or the extra chapters in Jeremiah revealed that the church was wrong, false. And so the church was trying to have me murdered and removed from society and silenced and all that. So that would explain the picture that I'm putting on this video right now as the thumbnail, where you see me on Temple Square surrounded by Temple security, or Temple Square security, upset that I was handing off the Modern American Utopia book at the church administration building. So that could be the cover story. So that might actually be a better storyline, that rather than having me do a cover story about not going to jail, that I went to jail to cover up the new scripture that revealed, prophesied that the church was wrong. So, I think that would be better of a storyline. Yeah, because the story would have action, intense moments, cops involved, psychiatrists with corrupt intention trying to murder people, attempted murder, chases, and romance. So, not really much of a romance, but this is fiction. We can embellish things. So, yeah, I think that would work better. That would work better. And of course, we have that gay uncle, my Uncle Lowell. We could throw him in the story so that we get more of a diversity to show, to appeal to a wider audience. So that, I think, is the way to go. But that would just, I might as well just write the book as a fiction and try to make it into a movie deal. I won't be able to do it unless I go back to Outskirts Press, because then I'd have to pay for a package in order to try to make a movie deal. But yeah, we might have something with this. We might have something with this. So, I'll think about it.